The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, and we're back with a live show. That's right, we had a couple reruns the past couple weekends, but in addition, it is our first Go Texan edition. So here we are. If you tune into the YouTube channel, we're celebrating our Texas heritage right here in Houston, Texas, and on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. So let's get down to business as we first welcome Thomas Saunders. He's with RE/MAX Associates Northeast. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Good to see you. And real estate is so exciting, but I hear, Thomas, it's very exciting in the northeast part of Houston. Let's tell people about your company.
Well, RE/MAX is located in Kingwood, Northeast. It's a master plan community. It's one of the few master plans in Houston area, and it's a, I've lived all over Houston, and in Kingwood, I think you get more value for your dollar.
And a lot of people are attracted to the trees, and I think you even have a lake up there. So a lot of drivers for the Kingwood, Atascocita area.
Yeah, most folks that live in Kingwood, they don't ever go out of it. You got everything you need there.
A lot of things going on. From a real estate standpoint, Thomas, how's the market right now for buyers and sellers?
Well, the market's always changing, and so it's always a balancing act. It depends on what time of year. So if you're this, springtime is coming, so, things are starting to build up. We're starting to see more listings. We're really starting to see buying activity pick up. We've been stalled for a while. 2024 was the slowest year on record since about 30 years. So, we've listings have been sitting on the market longer, and we're starting to see some activity pick up.
So right now, from a listing standpoint, if someone say, again, in the Kingwood area, and for those listening outside of Houston, that's kind of at the 2 o'clock position if Houston were a circular type arrangement. Right. But for right now, if you're coaching a seller up there in Kingwood, how are you managing their expectations? And if I want to put my home on the market, I say, hey, Thomas, how long is it going to take? What kind of things are happening right now when you're talking to the seller?
Well, I'm different than the typical agent. I always wanted to be a normal agent, and it just never was in the cards for me. So when I talk to a seller, my experience comes from multiple markets. I'm all over Texas. I'm in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Galveston, Beaumont. So I see different markets all act differently. And sometimes they're acting the same, but sometimes the Woodlands could be doing great, and there's something else going on in Kingwood. So it's for a seller to see when we're talking about the market. I'm pretty good at walking into a market, analyzing what is going on, because that's what I've done my entire career, studying and just kind of understanding what that market's doing. So every market's different, and we just take the information we have and we go through it.
And as far as the springtime, here we are. It's springtime. A lot of great things are happening, and a lot of people believe that the market gets more exciting at this time of year. Is that what you're seeing at this point?
We are seeing that, and we always hope for that. Springtime, is the time of year. It warms up. It's nicer weather. Buyers start getting out. So we typically see that, but I sell houses all year round. So you've got to look for, what that market's doing at that time.
And right now, let's say a buyer comes to you, and I'm not totally familiar with all the different price points in the Kingwood area, but they're all over the board. But if someone, let's just take a number, they have $450,000. They say, hey, Thomas, I have $450,000. What are my choices in the Kingwood area? Is there a lot of variety up there for that price?
Well, inventory's still, a little bit shy. We're building up inventory as more time goes on, as things slow down. Inventory is rising. So right now you can pretty much see everything and wonder, okay, what else is next? And you're kind of waiting for that next deal.
But for $450,000, you think I could buy something up there?
Absolutely.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean that's the typical bread and butter of Kingwood.
And then what about, again, that same price point? Would I have the choice of existing homes? Would I also have the choice of new construction at about $450,000?
In Kingwood, you don't get a lot of new construction. That's an area that is kind of limited. You know, you got the San Jacinto River. You've got, that kind of surrounds part of it. You got the East Fork and the West Fork. And that Kingwood was meant to be about 65,000 doors. And we've already exceeded that. So there's very few new development going on in Kingwood.
The livable forest. We're talking with Thomas Saunders. He's with RE/MAX Northeast. What are some of the other things that are going on when you leave the Kingwood area? Because you're also doing business, Thomas, I hear, all over the Houston area.
Well, particularly like Austin. Austin, when we saw the big pandemic move, everyone was moving to Texas. The prices just went through the roof, between Austin and San Antonio, Dallas. Houston, it went up, but it didn't go up as much as these other areas. So I think when the market corrects, you're going to see Houston perform better and maybe not lose as much market share as you're going to lose in some of these other bigger cities that gained a lot of market share. And a lot of folks nowadays that are, particular sellers that are sitting on the market, they don't realize the advantage they have. We've seen appreciation over the last 3 or 4 years, 10%, 10%, 10%. A lot of houses are 40, 50% above in appreciation. And if sellers just realize that and they're willing to say, look, I'm going to come back 10%, 12% on my price, you're going to sell that property. While all the other sellers are trying to push the market, you're going to be that smart seller that says, I'm going to price this right, I'm going to make it affordable, and the buyers, my house is going to stand out.
We were hearing so much about interest rates, and we hear about it all the time, throughout high or low. But lately, I'm hearing that they're going down. Are you seeing an effect on the rates going down a little bit, affecting the marketplace?
The rates kind of go like a tide. It's just kind of up and down slightly. We're not going to see any dramatic reduction in interest rates for this next coming year, I don't believe. I think the best rate you'll probably see, it'll dip here and there, but maybe in the low sixes, 6.35, something like that. Rates are going to become normalized at some point. And once rates become normalized, then buyers will be used to it.
And how often, Thomas, are you on the buyer side, are you running into the cash buyer?
Not as often as we were. A lot of folks were selling their houses all over the country, coming in with a lot of cash. We're just not seeing that many cash buyers right now. It depends also on the price range. You get into the $1 million range, you'll see more cash buyers.
So in that 450, maybe not so much.
Not so much.
So from a marketing standpoint, other than being here on the radio today with millions of people listening to you, I don't know, I forget we're at 3-4 million, I forget. But in the meantime, what do you do at RE/MAX Northeast to promote and to market yourself and your company?
Well, I do some direct mail marketing. On occasion, I think I've backed off on that, but because I just had needed to do it. A lot of my business is repeat and referral, so I do things that are more personal. I open my house up to my community, and I do a Friendsgiving every year and invite all my clients and my neighbors out to it. It's a pretty big deal. I get, you invite, maybe 300 or 400 people, about 100 people will show up.
At your house?
Yeah.
That's called Friendsgiving, huh?
Yeah, Friendsgiving every year, yeah.
Do you have that around the same time as Thanksgiving? Or
right before Thanksgiving.
How about
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll put that on the calendar. That sounds pretty exciting.
You got an invitation.
400 people.
Well,
Wow.
That's the invitation. See, the thing is when you invite folks and you feel like, they feel welcomed, that's part of that marketing. So that's that touch when you're reaching out to them. So it's just a numbers game. Now if all 400 showed up, I'd figure out real quick to get some more food.
There you go.
And all that.
And also, let's tell people, you have been around real estate for many years. How many years have you been in the profession?
This is my 22nd year in real estate.
22 years.
Yes, sir.
And look at all the changes that we've seen and that you especially have seen in those years in terms of helping buyers and sellers. It's fascinating.
Yeah, real estate, to me, at the very beginning, was very personal. Because I was a kid growing up. I lived in all different parts of Houston with my mother who was single. And so I got to experience the West Side, Pasadena, Spring, and all these different areas. And never really having a house, a home, a place to call home. So when I went to college, I studied architecture. I got 2 degrees in architecture, minor in construction management, and I wanted to build my mom a house. And I ended up in real estate, and I couldn't thank God for doing that. It's been a good business.
Sounds awesome. Thomas, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
I just want people to know that the market isn't bad. Market's good. In fact, it's getting better for buyers. So if you're a buyer, right now is a good time to get out there. And if you're a seller, don't be afraid to make an adjustment on your price. You've got a lot of equity. Let's get some things moving.
And how can people reach you, Thomas Saunders?
Well, my direct cell phone number is 713-819-9145. You can email me at thomaslsaunders@remax.net.
Phone number again is
713-819-9145.
Thomas, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
As we continue, let's talk to Ryan Simon. His company is Brent Allen Properties. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to see you. Your company, Brent Allen Properties. Let's tell people a little bit about the company.
It's a boutique brokerage built for today's evolving market. Again, all of our local agents have a local dynamic and, again, have a residential construction background with emphasis on multifaceted investment strategies. Again, little things that set Brent Allen Properties apart are leveraging the latest technology for creative and efficient marketing of properties while providing data-driven resources that give clients confident ability to make their decisions for real estate transactions.
And, of course, you're right here in Houston, you and the team at Brent Allen. Give us an idea as far as geographically where you're doing most of your helping buyers and sellers and even investors.
Say the office is right at Pinemont and TC Gesture, right in the heart of the Garden Oaks, Oak Forest area, and that is our target market, but not able to have a facility and outreach that can encompass the entire Houston metro.
And you mentioned, what was it, the Oaks area?
Oak Forest and Garden Oaks.
Oak Forest. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that because I hear there's so many exciting areas that are growing in Houston. Tell us a little bit about Oak Forest, and for those people outside of Houston, where is Oak Forest?
Oak Forest is right at 610 and 290, 610 in North Shepherd, and that 77018 zip code. A lot of improvement there, a lot of new construction. Again, something that Brent Allen Properties does capitalize on as well. So a lot of growth, a lot of original homes there as well. But again, a ton of opportunity for buyers of new construction and resale opportunities as well.
And then for those listening outside, this is an area that's pretty much in the northwest center of Houston. So it's inside our loop.
It is right inside the loop, yeah.
And the existing homes that were there were built quite a while ago for Houston, right? About what year?
Anywhere between, the mid-50s up until later 60s.
So thus we're seeing it being attractive to those that want to be close to Houston, but also a prime target for new construction, I guess.
Yes,
right?
sir. No, it definitely is. Because a lot of these new builder models have that, acquisition target to buy the existings, clear, and then put up that new construction product.
And it'd be safe to say, I'm guessing that it's an area where if you bought a home there a couple years ago, it's one of the areas where we've had rapid acceleration.
The appreciation has been significant, and again, as Thomas alluded to as well, putting some buyers and sellers on the fence, whatever side of the transaction they're on, but again, a lot of opportunity for growth and value appreciation in that area.
And as you mentioned, the new construction, I'm going to guess the new construction prices are going to represent some of that growth. Give us an idea if we want to buy a new home in the Oak Forest. What are the homes they're building price-wise?
Say there is one, I'm speaking of specifically, not the address, but again, it was about a 4,200 square foot home, 8,200 square foot lot. List price for that brand new construction custom home was just at $1.65 million. And it's amazing too, but again, nice. Long way from probably the original homes there that cost $30,000.
So now your real estate career, you're in real estate about how many years?
Just over 20 years.
There you go, 20. That's a long time. 2 decades of service.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Multifaceted.
And as far as what you do now, Ryan, I know you're in the residential, but also you're in the commercial and investor side. Give us an idea how you split your time and how the market is in those various sectors.
So on the commercial side, I work for a private equity sponsor, again, strategically focusing on conventional multifamily and student housing, implementing value-add strategies, renovations of amenities and units, Again, always driving value. And then on the residential side, my wife and I actually have our own single-family portfolio in the Oak Forest area as well. So driving results again to our investments through ownership and through service. Honestly, it really goes back to my days, even hospitality. It's all very service oriented, and then again through the commercial aspects of value add components, really allowed me to drive value to my product, which in turn drives rents, uplifts my communities because my investments actually are my neighbors. So just a lot of personality to it, and great sector to be in.
So it sounds like you have a few homes there in Oak Forest.
I do.
Thus, you're really able to help people from a knowledge standpoint of what's happened there, what's going on right now, in addition to having your own properties running that little business. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah, no, say we're in the thick of it and understand it from a community, but also from that investment perspective.
Kind of the Oak Forest experts.
Yes, sir. We are.
So as far as that goes, when we look at Oak Forest now, here we are, 2025, we've seen, I mean, we're speculating, of course, no one knows, but we've seen that acceleration in this inner loop of Houston. Again, people listening outside, we're going to continue to see it?
I would say so. Again, especially with the demand of the new construction product. And again, back to where Thomas had said, that rates are going to be higher for longer. That's going to drive people that were in different markets to that Oak Forest Garden Oaks area because there is so much embedded value. Even at the 1.659, you target other areas of West U or other areas where the price points are still double for older construction, smaller lots, smaller homes. So still a ton of value, whether it be existing or new construction in the Oak Forest and Garden Oaks area.
And when we're talking about the higher price, what about the cash buyer in the $1 million range or a 1.5? Are you seeing cash buyers out there, Ryan?
Some, few and far between, but I would say, too, it's more – I would agree that it's few and far between. But again, a lot of these new construction homes are being sold pre-market. Like they're not even getting to the listing phase, which again, for the developer side is a great it's a great win.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So as far as from a marketing standpoint, certainly you're here today, but what are some of the other things you're doing from a marketing standpoint to promote the area and helping buyers and sellers?
For sure. When again, and Thomas alluded to another great point too of just I do a lot of door knocking, flyering, working my sphere of influence. Of course, there's a lot of social media presence as well through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the other facets there as well, and then just emails and just standard marketing procedures as well.
We're talking with Ryan Simon. The company is Brent Allen Properties. So many exciting, and when we think about the marketing aspects, I know in my area, I'm in west of town, but I see realtors, and there's one in particular because I don't see many do it, but there's one person that sends me a card all the time. So I'm not planning on selling my home, but whether I use this person or not, I'm going to tell you that person comes top of mind.
Top of mind, of
There's
course.
Something about it.
Of course. Even in a recent open house that I did, when I went to go pick up the 12 signs I'd put out, I went and door knocked on each one of them and just said, thank you for not throwing away my sign, essentially, but, tried to still establish a connection, which, again, this business and life is all about establishing those long-term relationships. So.
Well, let's hit that. On the show, I've never explored it, but many people talk about door knocking. Okay, so here we are, 2025. And that's such an analog, such an old-time, old school. You're actually, right now, you're going to knock on a door if you're in the neighborhood without fear. And tell us about one or two experiences there. I think that's fascinating.
Well, and honestly, that's how I acquired my first two investment properties as well. So in my immediate area, found out of some transition coming forth, went and knocked on a door, put my contact detail on a Post-it note, got some choice words and yelled at, but again, handed it to the female of the home who, again, I gave it to the owner, and then I thought it was a dead deal. But a couple days or a week later, got a call from the owner, and the rest was history. And acquired two deals from them. So
nothing happens unless you ask, right?
We'll say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So and that is true.
So there are the times I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. You knock on a door, no one answers.
Of course,
there's that time you knock, and someone's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And then what do you say?
Say, my name's Ryan. I'm with Brent Allen Properties. Do you have any real estate needs or any thoughts in the near future of making any moves? And again, you can keep it direct or informative based on how you're trying to target, but just want to get yourself out there, hand them your collateral, and then go from there.
It's interesting because I bet being on the other side of that, if someone said that to me, I'd be thinking, well, maybe I have something coming up, and maybe this person is the right person to help me out because they're not afraid. They're being aggressive, and maybe they promote my property if they right.
And also
Many things happen.
It reflects work ethic too, that you're willing to get out and just pound the pavement and make it happen. So, and again, the conversion rate is not anything to speak of, but again, one or two works for sure. So
it's interesting. We've all seen, the people listening to the show here today, those in the room right now, we've all seen real estate shows on TV, not just this radio show here, but we've seen shows on TV where they don't show the hard work of real estate. They show the real estate agent in the beautiful office, a luxury vehicle, selling multi-million, everything.
All the commissions, everything, right? Yes.
Celebrating, popping champagne and all that. But there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think one of the things we're doing here on the show, too, is as people listen, they hear the real-life stories of what realtors like yourself are doing. And it's not easy, but it's very rewarding.
No, and it is very doable as well. Again, I really try to take more of a traditional approach, trying to keep operational costs as low as possible while still driving value for my clients and ultimately driving value to my business.
And Ryan, those many years ago, what was it that intrigued you to get into real estate to begin with?
You know what? Commercial and residential is deeply rooted on both sides of my family. I knew that ultimately that was my facet to generational wealth for my family and for my girls.
Sounds good to me. Ryan, Simon, Brent Allen Properties. Ryan, how can people reach you?
Definitely direct on my cell, 713-702-0038, or my email is ryan@brentallenrealty.com.
The phone number again is?
713-702-0038.
Thanks for being with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's talk to Ozzie Ramirez. He is the broker-owner of AEA Realty. Ozzie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me.
Well, here you are. It's good to have you. And let's tell people, we're talking about longevity in real estate. You're the broker-owner of AEA Realty. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in, actually in April, next month, it'll be 20 years I've been in. I've largely been with different brokerages. And
20 years?
Yeah, we just started AEA in 2023, actually in May.
So new company, AEA, and one of your taglines is Ask Ozzie. Is that correct?
AskOzzie.com, yes, sir.
Geographically speaking, now we're covering a lot of bases here geographically on the show today. Let's tell people where most of your work is done and where you're based.
Really, my hometown, I was born and raised in Pearland. My family's been there since like the 1940s. But I'd say east downtown to Galveston, really that southeast quarter is really my backyard where I play the most.
And give people an idea of the activity that's happening. So again, those that listen from afar, Houston kind of like the face of a watch. We're talking about the 5 o'clock position, give or take, maybe 6, right? 4 o'clock even.
Somewhere right in there.
Especially when you bring in Galveston. So it's covering a lot of geography. But how's the market right now, Ozzie?
You know, there's so many micro markets. To answer that question would be foolish. Really, it's every single one is just a little bit different. And you know, for me, if somebody asks the question, how's the market, I'm gonna dig into their particular market, do the research, and give them the data. But trying to answer it total regionally wise, I don't think it's a smart idea.
What about Pearland? We hear a lot about Pearland, and one of the things I've discovered, I've been there several times, but what strikes me is how it's bigger than I imagine it to be, and there's a lot of sections. So give us a word on Pearland.
If I could break it down, there's a far west side, which is 288 and 518, which is pretty heavily congested, a lot of master plan communities. That's the newest portion of Pearland. If you go to the far east side, which I'd say is more Dixie Farm and 518, it's kind of where the old school Pearland people kind of tend to populate. It's a lot more affordable for the most part on the east side, but there are some new communities coming up right now, not a ton of them. But that's basically, it's almost split down the middle, kind of between, I'd say Cullen's kind of like one of the dividing lines in there.
So if a buyer is interested in Pearland, would it be safe to say certainly there's existing homes that they could buy? I don't know what the inventory is like. Maybe you could tell us. But also, what about new construction? Can we get new construction in the Pearland area?
Yeah, absolutely. There's not nearly as much as there used to be, because if you look at like a Google map, there used to be a ton of green space, I'd say like a decade ago. A lot of that green space has been eaten up. regional wise, not just Pearland, but if you go a little bit further south, I'd say Alvin is where you're going to find a lot more new home communities being built and a whole lot more affordable as well.
Alvin,
yeah. It's another place I love.
give people an idea. Where is Alvin? So if we're going south of Houston, maybe southeast.
Straight down 35. So if you look, it's just straight south of Houston.
So it's directly south of Houston, but further than Pearland. Is that
Yes, sir. It's the neighbor of Pearland just to the south.
Alvin?
Yes, sir.
And it's a growing town as well?
Absolutely. There's a whole lot more green space to play with.
What towns and what suburbs of Houston are not growing? I mean,
The whole place. I think the last piece of
is
data I saw
exploding.
was it was like 16.7% of every American moving from one state to another within the United States is moving to Texas, and Houston is not immune to that growth.
In fact, in today's Wall Street Journal, it's talking about how Texas in general is now the darling of the Silicon Valley type community and those kind of businesses. So I think it's going to keep on going. At what rate? It's just fascinating to see what's happening. Are you helping people from, speaking of out of state, out of town? Are you finding buyers and from the out of state area?
Absolutely. So we've serviced people from everywhere, from Japan to California to New York. We carry 130 to 150 properties at a time right now. So, of course, every time we hit the MLS and every time we push our properties out, we're going to find a lot of different people.
Japan.
Yes, sir.
How'd they find you?
So if you actually, it's pretty common for people that actually use HAR.com. It syndicates out to many different websites. So when people get online, of course, HAR.com's the baby of it all. But when it syndicates out, you're going to find different people from other international realms that will hit that, mainly through the distribution of List Hub, which is given to us through HAR.com on the back end.
And then from a marketing standpoint, what does are you doing anything in particular to get this business from outside of Houston or even in Houston? What kind of things does AEA do to market the word?
I coach my agents on every type of lead generation. So, I mean, if you want to cold call for sub-buy owners or expireds, I've done that. I took 92 listings in 90 days by myself as a solo agent, and that's how I started to explode, just cold calling. But I really started in this business just, for lack of better terms, drinking beer with people I grew up with. And that's how I started my business. So I teach people how to drink beer and build business.
That could be the name of your next book.
Drink beer and build business. Make it happen.
Either that or I'll steal that title. I like that.
I
It's a
like
good
that,
one.
right? Your hat works with it, too.
There you go.
But if you really look at it, from social media lead generation, I teach people how to do it all. And those agents are going to figure out what really works best for them. So we hit every angle we possibly can. We try not to leave any stone unturned when it comes to marketing. But a lot of it is video, hitting Instagram, hitting Facebook, doing a ton of video. I drop a video every single day, which I coach real estate agents. I coach sellers and buyers. And my philosophy is give it all away. It never belonged to me in the first place. And the quicker I give it away, the quicker God's going to give me more. And it's been an extreme blessing.
Okay, so you have a video every day. I bet there's people right now listening. They say, hey, I want to see Ozzy's video. Where do they find it?
Everything is branded Ask Ozzy.
Ask Ozzy.
So my IG handles Ask Ozzy, my TikTok, my Twitter, my Facebook, it's all Ask Ozzy.
Is it on YouTube?
ASKOZZIE.
Or
Yes, sir.
Instagram? So you have a YouTube channel as well.
Well, actually, the YouTube channel we created is AEA Coaching, because I coach people from all the United States on lead generation. And that's really where I dropped the majority of all my educational videos.
That sounds pretty interesting. Guess what I'm going to do after this?
Find me.
I'm going to find one of the Ozzy videos.
Do it.
That's going to be awesome. So as far as we look at 2025, Ozzy, I'm sure that you speculate and you say, hey, what lies ahead? You talk to the team. How many agents do you have that work with your company?
We went from 22 to 82 agents last year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a growth.
So when you all get together and you coach and talk and speculate, what do you think's going to happen as we unfold here this 2025?
I do not have a crystal ball, and I really don't love diving into that type of question because I don't want to look like a fool when I'm wrong. But if you really look at it, I think based on what I have seen in the past, the consumer, they had a little bit of fatigue whenever we were doing all the multi-offer situations when the interest rates were 2 and 3.
Right.
I think the competition's kind of burned them out. Plus the increase of prices, raised taxes and insurance. I think all that led to some burnout, especially when the interest rates hiked. Now we've gotten to a point where that interest rate is finally starting to feel a little normal, where people are less afraid than they were, and they're starting to come out of the woodworks realizing that this bad boy is probably not going to change too much in the near future. And I think that that lack of fear is starting to drive a few more buyers into the market. But if you really look at it, where we were at 2% and 3% interest rate, just not healthy. It's not healthy for the investors that are investing at the highest level. It's not healthy for what it did to strain the market. And I think hitting back at a 5%, 6%, or 7% interest rate is healthier. And that's why I feel like right now we're in a much more balanced place, and I hope we stay this way for much longer.
Sounds good to me, and I think I have a feeling you're right. I do think we talk about springtime, too. Do you see a rise in seasonal activity? Like last year at this time, here we are, beginning of March. Did it start ramping up at that time or not?
Yeah, pretty much every season. I mean, if you look at it, historically, Houston is a family city. There are a lot of suburbs here, and families tend to want to move in the summer, so it does increase. What I have found is, in my basic research, is in the last quarter and the first quarter, you actually get higher price per square foot because there's a lot less inventory out there. But the buyers of today, they still shop online. And when the wife says, hey, we're looking, but we want to move in summer, but in December that beauty pops up, she's making a move. And that in quarter or first quarter can absolutely change based on those looky-loos jumping off the fence.
Do you think the Astros have anything to do with this? Last time you were here, you had an Astros shirt on.
But I have season tickets. I love my Astros. I do give a lot of tickets away. It's kind of a community thing for me. This season, I think we're all skeptical a little bit. I think we're a little afraid, but in the same token, I see a lot of people in our minor leagues team coming up that are starting to do some good things. And here's a thing we've seen, and we've been spoiled over the since 2017 and before, is that they found a good prospecting farming area for them to bring in some top-notch players, and we've maintained and dominated, and I love that.
Sounds good to me. Ozzie, let's tell people how they can reach you, Ozzie Ramirez.
You can find me anywhere at Ask Ozzie, askozzie.com, ASKOZZIE. My direct business line is 713-903-2121, and those are going to be the best ways. DM me, text me. I love answering questions. That's why it's askozzie.com.
Phone number again is?
713-903-2121.
That's kind of an advantage. Ask Ozzie, because they can't forget that. People can't forget it, even if they want to.
It's branding. It's in the website. It's in the name. Like, you don't have to search for askozzie.com because you see it when you see me.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ozzie, for being with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Howdy, Bill.
Hey there. Well, here we are with a live show finally. Nonetheless, insurance is still so important. That's why we're here to talk about insurance with John Bramlett. That's you, John.
Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that, and it's nice to be back in studio with you. And we've come across some really kind of encouraging news over the last several weeks that some of our partners are becoming our insurance partners, especially on the sides where we're helping people with their home and auto and their personal insurance, are becoming a bit more bullish on the Houston market.
Wow.
As you know, for a while, it's been a challenge, and there have been companies that have been less likely to write.
Shied away,
yeah. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing folks come back, and we've had companies tell us that they're planning on being aggressive in Houston in 2025, and they're optimistic. So I think some of the things that we're seeing are very exciting for us, and then ultimately very exciting for our clients.
That's fantastic, because as I was thinking and reading some of the recent article and other articles about, forget about the residential for a minute, the businesses that are coming in here with large manufacturing, distribution buildings, I'm thinking, if a homeowner's insurance is going up, holy smokes, what about the business owners? But I'm going to guess part of their situation is they see the influx of so many people coming to Texas.
Well, they do, and I think the market had been a challenge, and we've talked about that, especially from an environmental perspective. That from 2019 to 2023, there were 102 significant weather incidences within the U.S. doing north of $615 billion in damages. So the insurance companies suffered from that, but we're starting to see their profitability ratios level out a bit. And become a bit more consistent. And then I think that combined with what you're seeing, I mean, it's a market you cannot ignore. So they've got to find a way to do business. And then there's some things that they're doing now from a service and a technology perspective that's going to help them be more aggressive and more efficient in the city.
Well, again, I'm going to bask in that news, because I'm thinking hopefully when my insurance renewal comes, it's going to be a more enjoyable experience when that time comes 7 months from now.
Well, there's a couple of things that we've been told. From a renewal perspective, the premiums have been pretty high when we've gone through the renewal process, and we've seen a lot of changing of companies because of that. They're anticipating that by June or July, we'll start to see that balance out a bit. And by the end of the year, the renewal premiums will be much more favorable for those to remain with companies if those policies still make sense for them. We've had a couple of companies provide some commitments that they don't anticipate significant rate increases for new business for home and auto in 2025, which is exciting. There's starting to be a bit more appetite in what's called a Tier 1 area. So those are the 14 coastal counties in Texas. That also includes parts of Harris County, LaPorte and Seabrook, those parts of the city. And for a while there, they were not really didn't much have an appetite for those 14 Tier 1 counties. So that's exciting. The other thing that really got me excited was one of the companies has upgraded their aerial evaluation, so their use of drones. But it's the technology and the quality of the cameras. So now, in the past where a home with a really nice roof might have gotten an okay premium, it's going to be much more affordable. And maybe a home that had an okay roof that might just been declined, they'll now be willing to write, because the technology allows them to truly evaluate that roof significantly better than they have been able to in the past. So that was really exciting to hear that, and I think that's gonna help a lot. They're still promoting combination packages, so I still think that's going to be a tool that we can use with our clients to make sure they get the best premiums possible. So if you're willing to place your home and auto, your renters and auto, your umbrella home and auto with the same company, we can provide some savings that way, because they're willing to provide some savings on those premiums if you give them all that business. And the other thing that they're working on that I think is really interesting is they're trying to speed up the claiming process and speed up the repair process. So by one of the companies is starting to partner with organizations, and that partnership will allow those claims to be processed quicker and the work to be done faster, whether it be repairs to your home or repairs to your auto. So there's really some exciting things that have come across our desk in the last several weeks.
That is really great news, John. It also makes me wonder, what are some of the other things you're going to be talking about as we go forth week to week, because you're kind of spoiling us right now. This is good stuff.
Well, and not all of it's going to happen tomorrow. The aerial one, we probably won't start to feel any effect for that for 60 or 90 days. Houston is not going to be the initial test market for that. But I do think by the summer or the early fall, we're going to start to be able to see that benefit. And that's the thing that's exciting, is it's not there's not just going to be an automatic decline if a roof is maybe a little suspect, that they are going to be willing to at least provide an option for us to consider. And then once we have that option, then we can have the conversations with the underwriters to negotiate what might make sense based upon the coverage that the individual might need.
Well, I know nobody cares, but I had my drone up just recently to take a look at my roof. I'm going to tell you, it looks pretty good. So for those that care, I have a nice looking roof.
So besides Knapik City, do we have not Knapik Insurance?
Well, no, that's one business I'm not going to get into.
Not going to get in that one? Okay.
No, I don't think so. But seriously, I do, as I think about the things on this show and where I live, it seems like every 2 weeks at least, as I walk the dog and so forth, there's a new roof being put on, and these homes are older homes. So it's interesting to see how roofs are so important in the insurance world. So I'm very conscious of, as I look around at not just mine, but others.
Absolutely, as you should. And I know that some of our guests that have been roofers have talked about, almost recommending that part of your long-term savings is something, as a repair, being able to repair or replace the roof. And I'm just excited the fact that with the technology that's out there now, that we've got a better chance of having some options to write coverage. And that's really the most important thing, is if we have those options and we can look at a variety of companies and come back with the best option for our clients, that's good business for everybody.
We're talking with John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John, of course, right here in Houston, people call you and call Stewart Insurance all the time. But, of course, we want to remind them that you're helping people outside of the state of Texas, in fact, all over.
Yes, we have both personal and business clients all over the U.S. So we help families and individuals with their personal insurance all over the U.S. We work with real estate brokers, realtors, property management firms, independent title and attorney agents on their business insurance all over the U.S. So, we're being an independent, we have those access to the variety of companies, which allows us then to build a plan that makes sense for our clients.
Sounds good, John. What else should we know?
Well, if you would like to be properly insured, and all that simply means is that the coverage you have makes the most sense for your business or your family at this point in time, we would love to have that opportunity. The other thing I'd care to share is we're growing, and we're looking for really good insurance advisors. So if you have experience on the commercial side working with real estate, or on the individual side working with families on their homes and auto, we would love to have an opportunity to have a conversation with you.
And how can people reach Stewart Insurance?
They can reach us at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. They can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Right now, John, I think there's a guy in New Jersey looking at his roof. He's saying, my roof looks pretty good. I want to call Stewart Insurance and get a rate. What number should he call? The New Jersey hotline
The New Jersey hotline to build his insurance plan would be 866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
And now, from Pearland, Texas, developing business in a tremendous way for Stewart Title, Brittany Hernandez. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. I love the hat.
Well, thank you. It's our Go Texan edition, just the first one of at least 4. So next time we see you, bring your hat. And
I brought my boots, though.
You got your cowboy boots,
new.
looking good.
Brand new.
As we talk about the Pearland area, people want to bring their contracts to Stewart Title in Pearland because you're doing tremendous work there with Tara, and you.
I have a new escrow officer.
And we're going to hear from her just for a second.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's bilingual, so, that's a great asset to our team. We're so excited to have her there. We have some great things going on. We have a city planner panel event that I'm pretty excited about. It's March 10th out in Pearland. It's going to have the economic developer from Alvin, from Pearland, and the mayor from Manville. So they're going to tell us all about what's up and coming. You might want to come since you wanted to learn about Alvin.
Just send an invite. It sounds really good because I like to learn about there's so many growing areas. Let's tell people how they can reach you at your office and stay up to date with all the things that you're doing. And they want to bring the contract right there. You're serving a tremendous area. What's the number?
832-728-7646. Our Facebook is pretty popping right now. So Pearland, Stewart Title, you can find everything that's going on over there.
And our new escrow officer there, we're going to hear from right now.
Bring her in.
And there she is. So, Crystal, let's tell people you're brand new for Stewart Title, and you're an escrow officer.
Yes, I am the new bilingual escrow officer there at the Stewart Title in Pearland. I'm super excited. One of the things that I love about the Stewart Title in Pearland is they do a lot of community services, and that is one of the things that I was looking for. So I love my team. I love Tara Hobbs. She's our senior escrow officer. Lots of experience, so I'm definitely looking forward to learning a lot from her.
Well, between you and Tara Hobbs, you're serving the community in a fantastic way and helping realtors far and wide.
Yes, sir. I'm experienced in closing, going from mobile homes to mansions. So I've done every type of transaction. I also cater to the Spanish speakers. So any realtors out there that are looking for an escrow officer that can do a closing in Spanish, make their clients comfortable in the closing room, I'm their girl.
Well, Crystal, I can be silent in 7 languages. Unfortunately, that's all I got. So in the meantime, well, Crystal, thanks for being with us. Let's tell people the office number there in Pearland.
Yes, they can contact us at 281-412-6900.
One more time.
281-412-6900.
Thanks for being with us, and
Thank
welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you.
And now he's back, Thomas Saunders with RE/MAX Northeast. Thomas, welcome back.
Hey, all right. Thank you. How you doing?
Well, before we close the show, Thomas, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing up there in the Northeast, and that's Northeast Houston?
Yes, Northeast Houston and Texas in general. But you know what? We're staying busy. We're selling houses. The market is picking it up, and we need to sell some houses. So if you're looking to buy, it's a good time to buy. So get out there.
If I want to live in the livable forest, I can call you?
Yep. Call me on my cell phone, 713-819-9145.
Number again is?
713-819-9145.
Thank you so much, Thomas Saunders. And now, Ryan Simon with Brent Allen Realty is back. Well, Ryan, here we are closing the show down. What else should we know?
Just excited and appreciate the opportunity here. And Brent Allen Properties is excited, again, to facilitate all of your real estate needs, whether it be retrade or new construction. We can do all of that and everything in between.
And give us a quick word on the investor side. Now, we established you're doing some personal investing, but do you ever have people call you and say, hey, Ryan, I'm interested. I already have my home, but I'm interested in real estate as an investment. Do you coach people like that ever?
Of course, yeah. We have the ability to, again, understand an investor's buy box and curate a specific market dynamic to what they're looking for.
And does that happen a lot where someone, because I think real estate, as we all know, is so fascinating, and people say, hey, well, I have money here or money, I want to put some money in real estate. It's sometimes a very good bet.
It is. It's volatile with market conditions as well, but still very, very popular alternative investment.
Sounds good to me. Now, if you knock at my door, Ryan, I'm going to not only answer it, but I'm going to bring you in for a coffee or whatever the beverage of your choice is.
I'm going to do it. Yes, sir.
So come on out and see me. How can people reach you? Ryan Simon.
Yeah, 713-702-0038. Or Ryan at BrentAllenRealty.com.
Number again is?
713-702-0038.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill.
Someone said to ask Ozzy, so I'm going to ask Ozzy to come on back for the final few minutes. Ozzy, so what else should we know? Ozzy Ramirez?
Oh, wow.
Time's up. No, go ahead.
I think the biggest thing is just the philosophy behind it is just it's really not about selling real estate. It's just about loving on people. And, you know, I'm just a resource. So from like your front sidewalk to your back fence, anything you need, I'm your guy. So you need fences, insurance, you need plumbers, you need whatever you need, I got people for you.
So there you go.
And I just love being a resource and showing up for people.
So then that's a very important part of being a real estate professional, I think, is you're the go-to. Hey, do you know a good person that could remodel my bathroom? Is there a roofer? Who do you, right? You have that all the time. You have to have that in your tool belt.
Absolutely.
Go Astros.
Go Astros.
And let's tell people how to reach you, Ozzy Ramirez.
Text me or you can DM me. So my number is 713-903-2121, or you can hit me at, oh, my bad, 713-903-2121, or just Instagram, Facebook, anywhere at Ask Ozzy, ASKOZZIE. Thank you.
Thank you, Ozzy Ramirez. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett and all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. And oh, yeah, what about Jeremy Ragsdale serving people in a tremendous way? He brought forth Thomas on the show. He is at our Kingwood office right there helping the real estate community in a fantastic way at Stewart Title in Kingwood. The number in Kingwood at Stewart Title. You can give them a call up there at 281-723-4001. That's 281-723-4001. And oh yeah, you want to go to the YouTube channel and see the guests? Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week with another fresh edition. And until then, stewart.com/radio.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.